Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Because it's New York Giants game day, week 2, playing against the Dallas Cowboys in the AT&T Stadium. But we need to know if we are live, if we can talk to you, because I don't want to just talk to Grump for 30 minutes for the sake of it, as much as I do like him. Grump, are we live? 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 I'm waiting to be live, but people are not letting us know if we're live. So maybe we're just not.
We are live. I'm seeing we're live.
What's going on?
Way to go, Donkey. Thanks, Donkey.
Sean says we are live. We are live. All right. So I was talking with Grump before because I do want to have these be good content. These, without a lot of pressure on them. But it seems maybe this won't be every week, but it feels like every week there's a Giants article that comes out Saturday night, Sunday morning, that's being leaked to national reporters. So I kind of want to read through that and just give our thoughts overall on it, even if it's not strong takes. We're going to do guess the inactives, which we got to do in the beginning because they get announced usually towards the end of it. Mm-hmm. So Grump, how we feeling? Week 2, we ready?
I mean, it's happening whether we're ready for it or not. But I'll say this: Cowboys fans are really, really down on their team, despite the fact that they lost to Super Bowl champions. So they're actually afraid of going 0-2 as a fan base. That makes me feel a little bit better. But we're here. You know what I mean? I think that there's weaknesses here, so I'm ready to see it. I'm just not ready to believe it till I do see it.
Right now the vibes are really bad in Giants land, and rightfully so. But here's a win would change everything, right? It would go from to think about the Browns game last year, right? 0-2 again, and the Browns game, and then they win the Seahawks game, and they're 2-3. But it's man, this team can really turn it around, and they ended up. I don't want to have this type of feeling, and I know this year's different because they will go to the quarterback, and regardless of where I stand on putting Jackson Dart in, and we'll get to that here in a second, as a fan, if they're 0-2, I want to see him play, right? We'll come on our mailbag and talk about the pros and cons of that and the plan and all that. And can it hurt him if it rushes him? And does it hurt him if you sit him, blah, blah, blah. But as a fan, I will be this is what I'm interested in. I want to see that guy play right there. I would rather see that guy play for 15 games than 9 games as in my own interest. So.
Well, there's always that dichotomy of what you want to happen versus what you think is best. People want to open their Christmas presents on December 15th. So it's the same kind of feeling, but you got to do what's right. And that's going to be a struggle for us, especially if it continues to it can't look as bad as it did last week. And I'm not going to sit here and say it couldn't get any worse, because believe me, we've seen worse very recently. Yes, it can get worse. I actually saw somebody echo that sentiment about James Hudson couldn't play any worse than he did last week. He didn't play that poorly. He played about as poorly as any backup left tackle plays. That was not,
which is very poor, to be fair.
It's poor, but it's not substantial. It's not. I mean, shit. I mean, I think Nate Solder had worse games as a starter.
True, man. That's depressing. Yeah. But let's do guess the inactives before we go in, because it's I can't pull 3 different left tackles in the recent memory that played worse. Let's do guess the inactives, and then we'll go from there. So because 2 people were called up from the practice squad, Swayze Bozeman, who's going to be a fan favorite. I just know it's Swayze. And then Elijah Garcia. We need 7 because there's 55 guys and we need to get down to 8. So let's go. The easy one is Demetrius Flanagan fouls. He's out. So for both of us. By the way, I was 6 for 6 last week. You were 5 for 6.
Right. Did you just mute yourself?
Doubtful. No, can you hear me?
Yeah, you just popped out for a second. You're good.
Okay. I'm going Andrew Thomas and Nacho, who are both listed as doubtful.
Right.
Jameis Winston as the emergency QB, and my 3 others are Xavier Gibson, just signed. And then I'm going to go Evan Neal and Thomas Fidone. I think Bo Braid, who was last week was inactive, can actually contribute on special teams. And then as much as Andre Patterson doesn't want to play Darius Alexander, they only have 4 D linemen if he's not active, so they want to have 5 guys out there. And the 5th guy got 6 snaps last week. I think we can live with that. So
yeah, I'm actually I have the exact same inactive list as you. So
the exact same.
Yeah, I mean, I had it listed in a different order, but yeah, Winston, Thomas, Fedoni, Neal, Nacho, Gibson, Demetrius, Flanagan, Fowles.
Okay,
right.
All right.
Yeah, pretty lame. And Gibson, you know,
that was boring.
I do think that the big variable is going to be Gibson or Braid, right? Because I don't think you really need to be with the team for like a super long time to contribute on specials. I think that Wan'Dale Robinson is dealing with an ankle injury. So even if he's not the first guy called up, if, you know, Wan'Dale is active and plays and then like aggravates something, it's probably going to be Gunner before him. Yeah. But you still have that like extra added depth back there just in case, whereas you don't really need it with the safety position. So I think that's the wild card, but I'm still going to go with the guy who's been here since, you know, for a couple of weeks versus the guy who got here this week.
Yeah, I actually want to hit on this topic because we, you know, he got claimed and we didn't, you know, talk about him, rightfully so. You know, he's not someone we're going to hit on our preview pod, but this is
I know I had it written down and we forgot to talk about.
Well, it's perfect for this type of show. Dan Holt, you know, if it was an off season, you know, when they added Xavier Gibson, we give him a 10-minute segment, and in season, it's you don't talk about it. Bobby, what are your thoughts on the Gibson signing? Seems weird to add a third returner with no receiving value. I actually disagree.
Yeah,
and this goes into my, you know, my whole argument about Gunner versus Amir Smith-Marset, and it's like, don't look at these guys as receivers at all. Neither one of them gives you any receiving value at all. In fact, Smith-Marset probably gives you a little bit more, but again, don't look at them as receivers, only returners. The issue with Gibson is not he had no receiving value. It's that he fumbles. He has 10 fumbles, and it's like, what is last like 33 games, like last 30 games or something like that. Like, that's unbelievable. But he is a returner who, if Wan'Dale's injured, actually can play backup slot. He's not going to be really good, but like he has experience being an actual slot wide receiver where the other guys don't. So I actually think in a pinch, Xavier Gibson is the best person on the team to play slot receiver if Wan'Dale Robinson gets injured.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's someone that they said it too when you know they talked to Brian Dable about it in the AI question that came out like this.
Stop.
They said that they like the talent. They said it straight up. They like the talent. They think that they can do something with him. I don't think that this is just getting another returner. And I also think that they would like somebody else back there besides Wan'Dale taking hits and special teams.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when I saw Wan'Dale Robinson got injured on kick return. It's like, of course. It's like, it's even though it's like, I'm like, why is Wan'Dale returning kicks? You're like, all right, well, this at least won't go worse. And then it's like, yep, nope, he does one and he gets injured. Of course. You know, it's like the Adoree Jackson thing where it's like, and Adoree Jackson belonged there, I think, less so than Wan'Dale did. But it's why are you taking this chance for this guy, especially on punt return at that time, where it's like just catch the damn ball and don't fumble. So yeah, I actually think now again, Gibson has a fumble issue. So if he comes in the game and fumbles, I'm going to be pissed. But like I think as a returner, he actually does give you a little bit of receiving value.
It is amazing that the 2 times the Giants make the decision to put a key starter in a special teams returner position, it only takes like 1 kick attempt for them to get hurt doing it.
Yeah, every single time. Which again, I was shocked when I saw Wan'Dale Robinson back there.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm adding something here. So let's
especially because like with the new kick return rules, like I can understand needing 2 returners back there that are both legitimate returners, but like that's sort of Dante Miller's value. Even if he wasn't great at it, we had like a whole segment about that. It's just like, if you suddenly are valuing that so much, like that you're going to put a starter back there, then like, why not have a higher value on Dante Miller to be on the 53-man roster? I just don't get it.
Anyway, yeah, I don't like him back there regardless. I'm not as high on Dante Miller as other, but it's whatever. They have like 5 returners like available to them. Like you have, you know, Amir Smith-Marset on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Williams or on the practice squad. let's do. Oh, and by the way, the chat. I need the chat on this. When the inactives come out, let us know. One, so I could tweet it, and then we can see who. We'll see how accurate we were. I want to stay as undefeated as long as possible. There's always like one surprise though, week 2. All right, let's. I want to do this. Let's go through this Adam Schefter article.
I mean, there's not much to it, but yeah,
there's not. So we don't need to spend too much time. But I feel like we should use these pre-games as a chance to do it. So let's go through it. This came out yesterday. There's no sense of urgency in the New York Giants organization to bench Russell Wilson and start rookie Jackson Dart, sources told ESPN. So like that, he's hearing that from Shane. That's basically coming straight from Joe Shane. Like that's the guys who talk to the national reporters. It doesn't mean a change can't come soon at the quarterback position, but the Giants would prefer that it not happen anytime soon, according to sources. New York would prefer to continue to be patient, let Wilson play well, and give Dart the time he needs to develop, source said. So like that is one of the funnier things where they're like, yeah, we would love for Russell Wilson to be really good, play well, and we don't have to play him. But what it makes it feel like is like, hey, but if Russ stinks, we're going to have to go to this quarterback, not because this is part of our plan, and I think that's the big takeaway from this for me is like, it's almost like I don't know why they would put this out, because this was like a reminder, like, hey, by the way, buddy, we're panicking if we put him in for week 3. But we're letting you know that we would like to keep Russ in. I don't know if it's a vote of confidence for Russell Wilson or whatever. Like that's we'll go through the rest of it. You know, there's a portion about Andrew Thomas. I don't know if that's sourced up about like the timeline of putting Jackson Dart in there. But that was the most noticeable. That was the thing in there where it was like, why are you reminding us that if you make this switch quick, it's going to be it's going to be because Russ is playing well and not because of part of your or Russ is playing poorly and not because of your plan.
Well, I think part of it too is that it's going to be the new. First of all, this is silly to release this. I think that sentence is kind of silly, but I think the nuance to it is that if Russ plays poorly, like not if the team loses, not if people drop passes, like. I think if Russell Wilson looks bad, they'll make the switch. And there was kind of like the same throwing under the bus, I guess. I don't want to say it like that, but I can't think of anything else. But when they benched Daniel Jones last year, like there were these things where like Brian Dable told the receivers, like, keep your head on a swivel because that ball's coming out. Like pretty much saying like Daniel Jones isn't throwing where I want him to throw when I want him to throw it to make this offense work. So I think it's sort of the same thing here with Russell Wilson, where it's like, if it gets to be to that level where it's like, I can pinpoint, 7 plays where the offense would have worked and we would have scored points if Russell Wilson did what he was supposed to do, then I'm going to get frustrated with him and move on.
Yeah.
Which also is like, even if that's true, just keep that in-house. Why are you advertising this?
Yeah. Now I will say, even if Russ plays poorly today, I don't think it's a slam dunk they bench him either. Like week 2 is like,
it's too early.
It's
put him against the Chiefs next week.
I'm not even saying it's too early, but it's just very early. And this is where people will deny it in their brain now, but in reality is we are very, what have you done for me lately? If Jackson Dart comes in, if they're 1-6 and everybody hates Brian Dable with all of their heart, and Jackson Dart comes in week 8 and plays fairly well, people will get back on that train. It's just it's a matter of fact. It is a what have you done lately? And if they win today, everything that said week 1 will be looked at as overreaction. Even if they win one game this year and it's just that one game, people will be back on the train if they win today.
And the thing that I think people don't realize is that when you set up a timetable for when you want this to happen, like there was a whole structure around when they wanted to play the ideal situation, like that goes into like weeks and months of preparation where like when you point out examples of like, oh, this quarterback came in, week 2 and was great. And like, he didn't need all this ramp up period. It's like, okay, well, they had a different offseason plan though. That's different. This was different. Like you had a number 1 starter. They were committed to this starter. To make that change up is a huge curveball in your timeline. Like, you're jumping like it's like taking the SATs with no prep. Like you really have to be like committed to making a switch like that.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, is that again, short memories. If he plays badly, then it's going to be bad regardless. If he plays well, no one's going to remember. Oh, you panicked. Yeah. Oh, you made you panicked and rushed this kid out there to save your own job. So, like, as Giants fans, we should be invested in that. Brian Daboll is more. It's more about self-preservation than anything. So let's just read again the rest of this article. There's not much in it. It's just the beginning part. The continued absence of Andrew Thomas also does not make it easier for the Giants to speed up their timeline to play Dart. Thomas is officially listed as doubtful and expected to miss his second consecutive game against the Dallas Cowboys. And James Hudson is expected to start in his place. The Giants would like to get Thomas, who is rehabbing from a Liz Frank injury, back as soon as possible to help protect the blind side of whoever is playing QB. The conversation surrounding the Giants this week has centered on whether Dart should start over Wilson, who struggled in the Giants' opening loss to the Commanders. After initially being non-committal on the topic, Giants coach Daboll confirmed Monday that Wilson would remain their starter for week 2. Dart, who listed as the number 2 quarterback against Washington, worked primarily as the New York scout team quarterback, pretending to be Dak Prescott. I will say this. That reminds me. This isn't about this article, but, they finally let Dart and Jameis talk to the media on Friday. Mm-hmm. Dart made a good point. NFL teams run similar concepts. Like, running the scout team can be very good preparation, even if it's not game plan specific for Jackson Dart and getting him ready for week 2. Running those concepts and making those reads and everything within it can be very beneficial if you take it serious and you're not just the guy. You're not just the quarterback who, hey, this is where they like to go throw the ball here in cards. No, you actually treat it like you're trying to win that play. So that is like, again, we all run dagger, we all run mesh, we all run stick, like we all run all these teams run these concepts. Let's see where we're saying. I'm just preparing for whenever the chance I get. Darts at Friday, blah blah. Yeah, so there's nothing else in there, so we can stop looking at that. But I just wanted to go through those weekly articles, any type of information that comes out from the preview pod to this. So we'll get into some questions.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, there was also one other thing that came out on the Dallas side. I think it was CBS reported in regards to Deron Bland being out. And how they were planning on replacing him. They were going to Matt Eberflus is planning on using additional help from safeties Marquise Bell and Wanye Thomas to help Reddy Stewart in that slot role. I mean, we assumed that there would be some other plan there, but remember that Trayvon Diggs didn't play every single snap last week either, coming off of an injury. So there is a lot of moving and shaking going on in the Dallas secondary.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on the preview pod. You've got to test corner twos, and Kyrie Elam is about as bad as a corner two in the NFL as there is. You've got to test him out. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, you cannot tell me you re-signed Darius Slayton to give him, a couple targets per game. Like, when you have a matchup like that, you have to take advantage of it.
I think Malik Neighbors said that too to Jordan Renan. Said they should be spreading the ball around in some fashion. He said that.
Yep. Let's see. All right, let's get to some questions. Is Thomas playing? I'm assuming he's saying Thomas Fedoni. I would assume he's inactive. Again, there's just no need for a fourth tight end. He's not going to play any special teams. So I would, if there's any of the healthy guys, I would assume to be inactive. It's really Fedoni. I guess there's only 3 spots because there's 3 injured guys and then Jameis. But Fedoni is like my best bet there. I'm going to press Jordan. I saw somebody say that he mentioned that Neal might be working back at tackle. Which, so when I do Breaking Big Blue tomorrow, I'm going to press him about that.
Where did you see that?
I saw someone tweet about it. And someone said in the chat, too.
Oh, God.
But he did, because he does the Breaking Big Blue on his own channel, too, on the end of the week. The Dolphins did a negative plane banner, copycats. Dude, we need some more plane banner ideas. And I don't know when it's going to be. Haven't made any decisions, but need to. Are the Giants inactives out?
Dolphins fans are big down, and they should be. I think that era might be ending this year.
I'm sorry. I'm like looking for the inactives. Yeah, the Dolphins are in a really bad place. I'm interested to see DJ versus the Broncos. Is that a 4:00 game? What games can we watch? Vikings, Falcons is a good one. The 4:00 games. Yeah, Broncos, Colts. Panthers, Cardinals. That's the you got Eagles, Chiefs. Never mind. I will have Eagles, Chiefs on the TV. Um, I guess there's only 3 games. I guess I could have actually red zone that. I have 4 recent jerseys: Neighbors, Lawrence, Carter, Wilson. I wore Carter last week and he played well. Who do we want to play well for? I mean, you got to put the Wilson jersey on, my friend.
Yeah, really. I mean, I'm gonna specifically blame you for us scoring 6 points last week.
How Eric, it's a positive plane, okay? It can't be a negative plane that we're doing. Which people are going to be mad at me for doing a positive plane if we're 0-3 or 0-4, whatever it is. I did find it funny. I had this shower thought that let's just say Jackson Dart is the quarterback next week. Think about all the stories and stuff of like Russ returning to the stadium where he won his Super Bowl and he just never starts a game there. It's like nope, yeah, you're
it's just like a glorified cheerleader on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's like but actually, buddy, you're never gonna play here again. We're making sure of that. Dolphins Plains said fire GM, fire head coach. I think they did Plains after us last year. They did copycat, but I will say, Giants fans, like I will post it. But I'm eye rolling if we do a negative plane next week. I'm just eye rolling at it.
We had a whole segment on the show, and we have the same thoughts about it.
Yeah, if there's a plane every week, there's a plane no week. Like it was cool because they did it for the first time in 40 plus years. Now we should put away the plane playbook for another 30 years, or hopefully never. Hopefully we're just good.
Hopefully it's only positive planes.
Yeah, that would be a thing. Was like every plane is just reassuring. Like have a great game, Malik. Jackson Dart is our franchise QB. Thank you, Joe Shane. No, Flanagan Fowles didn't go to IR. He might, but he hasn't went there yet.
I don't even understand why that guy's on the roster.
Yeah. I can't believe how are they here they are. All right, Giants inactives. Hold on, let me do the tweet. Let me post the tweet and then I will go from there. Let's see. So we got okay, so Darius Alexander is active. Bo Braid is active.
Yes.
I think we nailed it.
Yeah, I think
Yep, we nailed it. All right, so we went 7 for 7. So Andrew Thomas is inactive. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles and Nacho, those are injuries. Jameis, third quarterback, and then the healthy scratches are Xavier Gibson, new addition, Evan Neal, and Thomas Fedoni, which all makes sense. I will be Darius Alexander. There's one thing I'm doing first thing in the morning tomorrow is I'm going to see his snaps because they're not going to be a lot. Let's see what you look like in those snaps. So
did you see the Andre Patterson quote about him?
Yeah. So I listened to that whole thing. I will say with Andre Pat, as much as I think Alexander not being able to go early is a huge worry. The fact that how weak this defensive tackle group is, and he's a very old rookie. I think it's a huge worry. But as someone who tries to be fair, I'm not going to judge a rookie off of let alone playing bad, but not playing at all. I will give him an opportunity to play, and then by the end of the year, I feel like we should have a good idea of what his range of outcomes are. But Andre Patterson uses the Donnell Hunter thing. He used the exact same thing on Jordan Riley a couple of years ago. It was basically the exact same quote. Like he's going to be a good player. Donnell Hunter wasn't active his first 5 games, which I went back and looked at. Donnell Hunter was active for 3 of his first 5 games, and he actually played 70 plus snaps in those 3 games as well too. So
here's my thing. I like Andre Patterson actually. So this isn't like a dig or whatever, but that was like a nothing quote for me. So for starters, basically what he said was in college you're bigger and stronger because you're going up against future insurance salesmen and teachers and doctors and stuff like that who just play football. And you're going to be a professional football player. So you can get away with, lapses in technique because you're bigger and stronger or whatever, basically. And then you get to the NFL and then suddenly it's like, oh, I have to do everything the coaches tell me to do if I'm going to succeed here. Here's the problem with that. Darius Alexander played at Toledo and wasn't really great there either. It was really the Senior Bowl where he started to look good.
Yeah.
So it's not like like I feel like that analogy doesn't fit Darius Alexander like at all.
No, it doesn't. But at the end of the day, I'm not letting anybody's words.
I
or
also
anything
don't really
change.
care that much.
I care about it. I'm not letting any words and shit change. It's just when he plays, by the end of the year, we should have a good idea of what Darius Alexander is. It's as simple as that. Yeah. I'm willing to have patience. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, don't worry, Danielle Hunter, no, it's fine. You guys just Darius Dexter Lawrence start a little. Like, I'm not doing all that, but I'm willing to give patience. And then by the end of the year, I think I will have a good idea of what that player is. I think by the end of the rookie season, I feel like we've had a good idea of what most players are. And if anything, they've been overrated compared to underrated. But Patterson saying all that stuff, I think is great. Like, build his confidence. Hey, Danielle Hunter didn't play. Like that's all good and well. We shouldn't take it as, whatever, but all good and well. Joe wants me to bring back the good morning videos, which if you don't know what they are, I'm not going to explain them. But the issue is that one, they would have gotten stale. And number two, as much as you guys like them, if the Giants were losing, people would not like them at all. They would blame me for losses.
That would be more of a consideration if this team ever gets better.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying they can be brought back in certain scenarios. Maybe a playoff game. Like, playoff game is happening. I don't care what anyone says. Christian says, "Hey Bobby, Christian and Scuba Drew here. Oh, what's going on, guys? How does our bad execution come from QB play calling, bad preparation? I mean, it's basically all three things, right? Execute, when they talk about, we just got to execute better, it means everything's bad. So, like, I thought the play calling was bad last week. I thought the quarterback play was bad, and I thought the details were not there. Like, even though they were running these rub routes and they didn't like that, they did a terrible job of setting them up. James Hudson couldn't pick up a stunt, like very basic stunts too. Those are the details, execution part of it. So thank you for the question. We did lose Instagram followers every you're supposed to gain followers on game day. We would lose, it was the only day of the week we would lose followers because of the good morning posts on Instagram. Twitter, it didn't make a difference, but Instagram we did. If you could take one offensive non-QB and one defensive player from Giants history and put them on this roster, who would they be and why? I mean, it'd be Lawrence Taylor because he's the greatest defensive player of all time. Offensively,
can I just say Eli Manning?
I'm trying to think because I'm like,
oh, he said non-QB. I'm sorry.
Yeah, non-QB. It'd probably be like if we're not counting for era,
Chris Snee.
Like, who was that left tackle? From like the 60s or whatever.
Rosie Brown.
It'd probably be Rosie Brown.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I was getting ready to disparage him because he has kind of like a woman's name, but thank you for sparing me from doing that.
And then thank you for just saying it anyway.
Yeah, but I didn't say that, so thank you for not letting me not say that. I don't think that's another thing. The Shane Bowen press conference. Carter's not playing linebacker outside of specialty packages. The quote comes out as like we got to consider it, but he was basically just answering the question without saying 100% no. All right, we got a couple more minutes before we roll. What are we,
I will say I ran across a couple of Bears articles, like Bears fan podcast articles and stuff like that, just shitting all over Matt Eberflus, which but
they're shitting on him as a head coach. His defenses were actually pretty good.
And also, it's not like they were out of that game against the Eagles, and it was the offense that fumbled in the red zone.
Oh, Cowboys fans, you mean?
No, I'm saying it was Bears fans. It was like Cowboys fans are seeing what Bears fans had to see for the last 3 years. Blah 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 blah. It's like. Just be quiet and be happy you have a different head coach now. Is it irrelevant?
Let's see. Niels, I'm so interested to see if he's actually working a tackle, just because that's funny. Are we live? I'm late. You are very late. 3 sacks for Abdul. Dude, here's the thing is if Tyler Guyton doesn't get his ass beat today, I'm going to be pissed. That's the one thing where it's like. If you lose, you lose. That should be something. That's the whole point of getting the personnel that you have and what you leaned into.
Yeah, you should be
That's
dominating bad tackles. Period.
like Tyler should be getting worked all freaking game. But you know what? Here's the thing: as we get ready to go, the Giants have started 0-2 9 of the last 12 years. I don't want to tweet after the game that it's been 10 of the last 13. I really don't. 1-1 would feel like 17-0 at this point for the New York Giants. They haven't beat Dak since 2016, so it would feel really good to make all that stuff go away.
I would really like also
as much as like I'm in a low point with my Giants. Like it's like I can't believe this is how I feel in week 2. Change it. Like that's really the only way to change it, at least right now. Jackson Dart can change it down the road, but
I mean, I want to look competitive, but also I want to win. I want to beat the Cowboys. I want to beat them at home. I just see those jackasses do like the Black Friday sprint into the stadium when they open the doors. It's just weird behavior. Like I want them to be running out of the stadium that way.
Yeah, that would be funny. We should make a video of that, of them running out.
You just actually that would look bad. Video in reverse.
Yeah, that would look like something really bad happened in there.
Oh God, my brain didn't even go there, but you're right.
Yeah, just announced. Yep, AT is inactive. So that's as we go. So for our record keeping is I am 13 of 13 on guessing inactives, and Grump is 12 of 13. The one guy you got wrong was Bo. You said Bo Braid was going to be active
last week.
He was inactive. So who was the inactive that you had that was wrong?
I have to pull up the thing. Hang on 1 second.
Pull up the thing.
I had Schlottman.
Okay. All right. So Schlottman.
I learned my lesson.
All right. Cool. All right. We will see you guys after the game. Going to aim to go live at 7:15. Probably 7:30 at the latest. So we'll see you then. Like and subscribe. Until then, let's go Big Blue.